Hello, fellow peggers. My name is Steve. I am one of the founders and owners of ElonPeg. For those who may not know, if this video is being spread far and wide, which in some ways I hope it is, ElonPeg is an innovative project on the Binance Smart Chain. We launched on June 3rd. We are known for our social tokenomics. So since launch day, we have burned almost 40%, or actually a little over 40% of our supply over time, purely based on the tweets of the one and only Elon Musk. Every tweet, every retweet, and every reply has burned 0.5% of our vault store, which has resulted in a massive amount of burns, a lot of fun, full reporting of the burns and the tweet that caused them on the blockchain, along with posts on Twitter and Telegram every time it happens. It is a fantastic tokenomics exercise that's only going to get better as we improve and build out our vision. For my holders of ElonPeg, you know me, I am Steve. I am always in the chat. It is fantastic to be able to talk to you right now. Really what I want to cover is what we call Project MESA. Now, what is MESA? M-E-S-A, what is that? Project MESA is Make ElonPeg Sexy Again. That's exactly what we're going to do and what I want to talk to you about right now. This is a plan that we've worked out among the founder team, then among the launch team, and now down to you. And I am super excited to tell you about how we are going to execute it and what we plan on doing. But first, let's talk a little bit about where things are, because I'm sorry, this market is freaking nuts, right? You've got coins that are launching out of nowhere, and then achieving just massive hype pre-sale, blowing out their pre-sales, and then rising to insane heights. You've got other tokens that actually have products, and they've actually got a good core team behind them and projects that they're working on. And, they launch, they fizzle, and, they kind of begin that slow decline. And it's really crazy to see a lot of the traditional marketing and ways that, tokens have worked since, February, March, April are gone now, right? The world of BSC tokens has exploded. And at this point, it is a little bit of a populated area. So, there is a good place, I think, for strong tokens with strong communities and strong founder teams, and I like to think we are one, to make a difference, to make an impact. So that's what we're going to try to do. So first, let me lay out my goals for Project MESA. Goal number one is to use the capital at our disposal for true coin growth. And when I say true coin growth, what I mean is volume. We need people rushing in to buy ElonPeg. And we need a constant stream of buyers and yes, sellers. I mean, the hallmark of a good active token is that you have a constant stream of buying and selling going on, and hopefully in an upward momentum, right? So that's one goal. Number two goal is increase our vault effectiveness. Our vault has been super effective, actually. It's been really effective, and thank you, Elon, for all the burns. We have burned and passed out reflections from his tweets since June 3rd, and it's done a fantastic job. It's almost done too fantastic a job. It's burned through a lot very quickly because he's tweeted a lot, and because we hadn't built up that volume. Obviously, it wasn't wasted, but we still want to make sure that there's a lot more fun to go around, right? So we'll be talking about that in a few minutes as well. Third goal, grow our holder base and our market cap through that heavy volume that I mentioned in the first piece. Obviously, heavy volume is the primary goal that we need to attain. And then from that, growing our holder base and our market cap comes next. Another goal, might surprise some of you to hear it, create additional volume pressure through an exchange. We do hope, as part of Project MESA, to go live on an exchange. We are not going to be announcing which one yet. We are still doing our due diligence, and it's not going to be first thing in the process, but we'll get to that in a minute. And then finally, another goal is begin immediate development on a proof of concept project that we've already put in our roadmap, which is prediction markets. The idea here is prediction on social media events or other API-driven events, and allowing people to pledge and game with their ElonPeg against events in social media. As an example, how many times will CZ reply or retweet Elon Musk in the next 7 days? You pledge an amount, you lock it up, and then hopefully you're right. If you're not right, you still got your reflections, you still got everything, nothing's lost. If you're right though, there is an opportunity for multipliers and other cool ways to earn. So it's a really fun and new way to take social events, bring them onto the blockchain, and then use them as part of our tokenomics and use them as part of our holders' ability to get more ElonPeg. Right? And that's just one example. There's 1,000 different examples that we can do. There's everything from 5-minute to 5-month prediction games that we can work out. So you'll hear more on this. Also, you can read our roadmap. It's inside of our white paper at elonpeg.com/whitepaper. So those are our goals, 5 main goals: volume growth, increase vault effectiveness, volume leads to higher market cap and holder base, get on an exchange for additional volume pressure, begin immediate development of proof of concept prediction market activities. So that's what we're going to do. Resources, how are we going to achieve this? We'll talk about that in just a bit. I'm actually going to walk you through it because I want to make sure that everyone truly understands what we're doing here. I know how scary the blockchain can be, and especially when founders start talking about money. Everyone's wondering when rug, right? You hear it a lot. I want to make sure that everyone understands exactly what we're going to do, why, and what you're going to get out of this. Okay? So we've got capital at our disposal. Some of that capital is part of the coin itself. Obviously, we have not wanted to sell any ElonPeg for marketing or for building on any of this because we don't want to negatively impact our price. It makes sense, right? If we were to suddenly start selling from the marketing vault or the marketing wallet to get more BNB to pay for marketing, it would hurt the coin's value. And this is a very common problem, but we're going to tell you how we're going to get around that. Okay, so strategy. What kind of marketing? How are we going to build this volume? What's that going to look like? I won't walk through the whole thing right now. There will be more details to come, but I will share at least kind of a summary of the ladder model of how we will build on this marketing, because this is very important to me. Marketing is not done by simply throwing out influencers or throwing out, one thing and saying we marketed, right? That is how marketing, that's where marketing goes to die. The best thing that we can do is run what we call a campaign. And a campaign, like our Project MESA campaign, is how we are going to take our goals and we're going to build up on that over time. And don't get me wrong, when I say time, I'm not talking about months or years, I'm talking about weeks. So we do plan to get started on this immediately. So part 1 is obviously communicating this plan to all of you. That's very important. After that, we do want to work on the burn vault. What we plan on doing are a couple operations that will add somewhere around 60 billion ElonPeg back into the burn vault. Some of that's going to come from the marketing wallet. Some of that's going to come from liquidity. And that is going to allow us to refuel the burn vault a bit and make Elon's next tweets that much more juicy. Another part of this plan is reducing the burn vault percent. And this is going to be interesting because we tweet about it everywhere that, the burn vault, that every time Elon tweets, it burns 0.5% of the vault supply. But one of the things that we really want to do is we want to make sure that we are not burning too hot while volume is low. Okay, so Elon's tweets are irrespective of our token volume. That means that if our token volume is nil and Elon is tweeting a lot, well, we've got an imbalance. Now, all of a sudden, we're burning super hot when we don't have the volume ourselves to support that. Okay, So what we are going to do is reduce the vault burn percent down to 0.3%. That is going to allow the burns to still burn pretty hot, especially with as much as he tweets, but a little bit less while we build up the hype and the volume. And then as that volume builds, we will increase it back to 0.5%. Okay, so 60 billion new ElonPeg in the vault, reduce the vault burn to 0.3%. This is going to provide us the ability to burn more and to show, well, which is great in itself, to burn more and then to show people better as they join into our token how the burn mechanic works. All right. Another thing is obviously finding a skilled developer and paying that skilled developer to work with me and others on developing out our prediction market. It's going to come with its own contracts. We are going to be pulling social data onto the blockchain through the use of Oracle style contracts. And then we are going to be running prediction market games based on those. So all of this is a decent amount of contract and web work. And so we're going to be paying a developer to work with us on this. A video AMA. We would like to do a video AMA with myself, Sam, and Sammy, S3, the three founders of ElonPeg, and the three co-founders of Prism Crypto LLC, which is our limited liability company based in the United States. So we are planning on doing a video AMA at some point during this process early on to introduce ourselves in that way and to, again, it's part of garnering support, making sure that you know we're real people and that we're here to work for the good of the token. Next up, what kind of marketing are we going to do? Because an AMA isn't marketing, right? Putting more in the burn vault isn't marketing. So what other marketing are we looking at? One of the big foundations is publications and press releases. So we want to talk about what we're doing. All these things I'm telling you right now, these things deserve to be told to the general public in the form of articles and press releases. This is one, to build hype, but two, also to lay the foundation for other marketing and to make it so that when people go to Google, that this is what they find. They don't just find our site or a comment someone left. They actually find what we're doing. What's the news? What's happening in our world, right? So building up that news is absolutely step one. And we're hoping to get syndicated in numerous publications, hopefully including a press release in Cointelegraph. But more on that later. We'll let you know how things go as we do our due diligence. Next, it comes a cycle of smaller influencers. Now, when I say small influencers, I hope that no one hears that and goes, oh man, I really wanted Soldier Boy. Because let me tell you something, right now, the last thing we want to do is spend $20,000 on a single influencer that barely mentions our project and doesn't make a dent. What we're looking for is small influencers that actually will talk about the project, the ones that actually care about crypto and have a following that listens to them. All right. So our goal here is to find a quantity of people on multiple platforms that will be talking about ElonPeg. They will talk about the press releases we just did, which talk about all this good shit I'm telling you right now. You see how we're building on the plan as we go forward and we're broadening it out. It starts with this video, me to you, telling you about Project MESA. The next stage is a small but mighty set of press releases and articles. Then we filter that out to a wider audience through mass influencers, okay? And we're building up that hype. After this, what we're hoping is you'll have another video announcement from me or S3 or some combination of the exchange that we're looking to list on. We are still working on choosing it. There's a lot of due diligence involved. If you know me, you know that I can be critical of exchanges. There's pros and cons to all of them, but one thing is for sure, they are expensive. There's a lot of time and effort that goes into them and to making sure it's done right. And we will do it right. But sometime as we're rolling out this influencer hype, we hope to also roll out a new nugget, which will be the exchange that we plan to list on. And we hope that that exchange will serve a good population worldwide. We're looking at minimum for one that can help us with Eastern Europe and Asia. Those are both areas that we can grow into massively. And so we are going to be looking for just the right mix of affordable, ease of use, friendly to its customers, and good for our volume. Because the whole goal here is to drive up volume, because as we've been burning and reducing the supply, now it's time to build up volume to meet that and create that perfect storm of supply and demand that the burn is there for to begin with. All right. So we are hoping that there will be another exchange listing. I'm hoping to get on some more podcasts. If you didn't catch the one that I did with Crypto God, they have invited us back for a round 2 when we're ready. I think that another podcast right after that exchange listing, after and during the influencer marketing, I think it can be massive. From there, we can move forward with a roll forward plan. From there, we've got the press releases, the influencers, the exchange. What's next? Well, let's talk about the exchange. Let's do more influencers that talk about that news. Let's do another press release and roll that out. Then have influencers talk about that. Let's get bus side or billboards in the areas that we want to grow into, talking about our exchange listing so that the no coiners and the no tokeners can ape in. We're going to keep building on this hype, and we're going to keep this train going, and we're going to rinse and repeat, always building off the last step. While doing so, we will be developing our prediction markets product so that we can back up that steady growth with stable market cap pillars of actual products that are actually useful and used. And then the game goes on. So this is Project MESA. And this is what we are planning on doing to make ElonPeg sexy again. We have been evaluating so many options because ultimately, in the end, all of these things need to be paid for. We have to make sure that we don't hurt the value of the token just to do it. And we have to make sure the timing is right. And I'm telling you right now, I believe that the timing is right. So what I'd like to do now is give you some ideas and reassurances on the capital and how we are planning on working with that. So if you take a look here, and please, I understand none of us feel good about this. This is exactly what we are trying to solve. But if you take a look here, our liquidity of $530,268 is more than half our market cap. Now, to be clear, sometimes that's good, but we are not a lottery token. We are not a buyback token. We don't have these features in our contract. And as such, this liquidity of 530,000 being over half our market cap does not help us in the slightest. It is not keeping us in a good place when it could be put to use. Now, you might be thinking to yourself, but I thought liquidity is locked. How can we put it to use? And you're right. The bulk of our liquidity is locked. So if I go to DX Locker here, you can see that in our liquidity, locked until June 3rd, 2022, our base amount of liquidity raised from pre-sale plus some of the liquidity since is locked. So 287 liquidity pool tokens are locked out of 375 in total, okay? So our core liquidity at launch is safe, funds are SAFU. We have a lock on that going for a full year. So I want to show you this so you know that I'm not talking about messing with the total liquidity of the project. We also have these locks that were put in place after launch during our highest volume, where we locked 7.69, 7.61, 7.73, 9.64, 7.73 LP tokens over various periods of time in order to further lock liquidity. So in addition to this big core bundle of liquidity, we also have all of these individual liquidity locks. Again, telling you this so that you understand, we have plenty of liquidity. The bulk of it, over 80%, is locked. What we do have available to us right now is roughly 12.78 of the liquidity is available unlocked. That's 48 liquidity pool tokens, which comes out to roughly 107 BNB and 21.98 billion ElonPeg matched up with it. So what we plan to do as soon as this video is released, we will be doing is releasing this liquidity. Again, this is only 12.78% of our total liquidity, and our total liquidity is really, really high. This will barely make a dent. Honestly, liquidity over 10% of your market cap is fine. We're over 50. So it's time to put it to good use. So we're going to take this liquidity, we're going to pull it out. The pooled ElonPeg you see here, this 22 billion ElonPeg will go straight to the vault, which is awesome. We will also be putting $40 billion ElonPeg from our marketing wallet into the vault. That's where the 60 billion new ElonPeg in the vault will come from. The combined or the pooled BNB of 107 BNB, some of that we may end up using for buyback or whatever else. But I wanted to show you something because a lot of people wanted us to take liquidity and use it to do a buyback. Even if we bought back 107 BNB worth of ElonPeg in one shot, look at this price impact. That would only raise the price around 11%. That's not worth it. It is not worth spending 107 BNB just to raise the price up so someone can dump on us. So instead, what we're going to do is we're going to take that 107 BNB and we're going to put it towards this marketing plan that we're telling you about. We're going to put it towards our exchange listing. We're going to take the money that we've all put into ElonPeg and we're going to use it for ElonPeg to grow it, to build on that marketing plan, and to pump this shit up and build the products that keep it supported over time. This is Project MESA. This is how we're going to do it. All of us have made it possible to do this by making ElonPeg what it is, by giving us the resources that we need, and by holding with us and sticking with us so that we can make ElonPeg sexy again. I am super excited for this push and super excited to work with all of you. You're going to hear more about this shortly. We're going to be talking about this for quite a while because this is our move forward plan. Thank you all. I love you. Appreciate it, Peggers.